This morning I was having a conversation with my wife about my videos and things for the Life in Chile blog and really anything that has to do with me talking about topics and things like that, the Off-Road Independence podcast, so on and so forth. And here's the problem. The problem is I don't know it all. And I don't think I know it all, but there's a behind the scenes joke with butts. But what happens is you have to make statements based on what you know or what you've experienced, and to some degree they have to be accepted as, I guess, truthful, if you want to put it that way. However, they can't be completely encompassing. So nothing that I say is all encompassing, and I don't intend it to be. So when I talk about things being common or typical or traditional, that also has to be taken in context with where I live in Chile and where the kind of people I know, the experiences that I've had, that kind of stuff. Because while like zinc corrugated roofs, for instance, are very common in the country area and in the, let's say, lower end portions of the city or high, like mid, what is that called? Middle class? That's it. Middle class. There are high-end portions of the cities where zinc is not used at all because they don't need it. They use, higher-end materials that are more expensive, asphalt, shingling, and even if they're going to use steel, it's standing seam, that kind of stuff. However, that's not the large portion of the population. So as we live a simpler life here and we live out in the country and things, a lot of what I talk about and a lot of places in town that I'll show you are not these high-end places. And therefore, when I talk about these kind of carpenters or contractors and their abilities, it's not because I'm putting them down. It's just the fact of what a large portion of that kind of contractor is in the middle range or the low end range. And with time, things will get better, because I don't want anybody to think that I'm downing Chile. Honestly, if it was such a horrible place, I wouldn't be here. It's not a horrible place. It's very cool, and it's taught me a lot. It's taught me how to rethink a lot of things, honestly. The way I perceive things, and if it's really necessary to have it to the same quality level or a degree that I've come to think is necessary. I mean, I've just seen so many things here. Like one example is, one day we had a leak in our roof. And so I called the property owner, and he sends out a guy to fix the leak in the roof. And he looks up in the attic and he says, "Okay, I'll be right back with some tools to fix the roof." And he takes off, and he comes back with a 2x3 piece of pine wood, about a foot long. I'm like, what in the world is he going to do with a 2x3? I don't know what he did with that 2x3 to this day, but the roof doesn't leak anymore. I was thinking, like, we're going to have to plan days off so that they can take the piece of zinc roofing off and put a new piece of zinc roofing on. And no, he stuck a 2x3 somewhere, and now it doesn't leak, and that's all that matters, right? So, I mean, they do things a lot of times, especially in the country here, based on what is around them, and they do things that are makeshift and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It means I'm not accustomed to it a lot of times, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just different. So when I say any of these things, I don't mean to be dictating how it is in all aspects of life here. That's impossible. But from what I've experienced in Chile, these are how they are. And once again, my memory is fallible. Things get exaggerated with time. So when I talk about past experiences, it may not be exactly to the degree that I remember, but I try to portray them as truthfully as I can remember them. So there you go. guys go. If I could only quit using the word but and so much, my vocabulary and my conversations would be a lot better.